say, please just take it as quickly as possible and be back on your feet. So we're going to start with the theme for this induction. Identifying opportunities in public relations for self-reliance and national development, which will be handled by another person other than Dr. Isa Momo from the Lagos Business School. When we talk about Nigerians of public relations, usually what do we have in mind? But before that, I want to say welcome to all of you. Just a few seconds.
Okay, load the lens. Load the lens, yeah. Just blow. I should go back. No. So sorry.
It's better we have the slides so that the message can be well driven home rather than to just talk from the paper. Well, like I said earlier, it has to do with identifying opportunities in public relations for self-reliance and national development. Well, I will say welcome to all of you. Do you accept that? Yes. Do you accept that? Yes. Yes. Talking about professionalism, ethics, and networking in public relations, what exactly do we have in mind? Let us start by getting to know the institute that we want to belong to, not that we belong to. But the president is still here, so until he decides that he's actually going to admit you. So please, as you are watching the slides, keep one eye on him so that he doesn't step out. But when we talk about professionalism in public relations, what exactly does it mean? You see people claiming that they are professionals, but when it comes to public relations itself, what exactly must you have for you to have been considered to be a professional? Basically, you need to have some level of knowledge, proficiency in what you are doing, skill, standard, and of course, discipline. It must not go into your head just because you are able or you are a master of whatever that you are doing. You need to have that discipline in you. But talking about NIPR for now, when did we come into existence? When were we given birth to? I know that as all of us are seated here, we all know when we were born. But is there anybody that is not sure? I'm not talking about two different ages that we may have, especially those of us who work in public service. But NIPR actually came into existence in 1963. And when we talk about 1963, you can imagine how many years that will be. But at what point did we get our charter status? It was in 1990, June precisely in 1990. Then what exactly is the structure of the institute? We have a law which happened to be Decree 16 of 1990, now an act of the Parliament. And that law actually came into existence in June 1990, and that was where we got our charter status from. Apart from the law guiding our operations, we also have some other laws that are made by the council as empowered by the Constitution. And we have 3 of these laws. We call them bylaws. We have number 1, number 2, and number 3 of them. All of these we are still going to get as material for the induction. So we need to just run through some of these things. But we have a mission for coming into existence. Because when all of us set out from our various places this morning, we had a place in mind. And where was that place? LTB 8 auditorium here. So when we came into existence, we had a mission, we had a reason why we were coming into existence. And what exactly is that reason for us to come to existence? Well, we looked at this profession called public relations, and we intended then to build a credible and dynamic professional institute. Not only that, we want to promote professional excellence, then gain stakeholders' commitment to professional standards, and of course, to encourage a more reputation-sensitive society. And that is why we have actually come into existence. Then how do we run the institute? We have two basic areas from where the activities of the institute are and is actually run. The first one is the Governing Council. The Governing Council has the responsibility to draw policies for the institute, to set standards and all of that. Whereas we have the Secretariat, and the Secretariat is charged with that responsibility of managing administrative activities that may come under the operations of the institute. For some of us that are here today, especially those who have been informed by the text message or by letter to come for induction today, people that apply are actually more than what we have in the hall. But why were some of them not able to come and register or inform us that they were coming today? The reason is not far-fetched, because we have requirements for you to be admitted as a member of the institute. And some of those key requirements are you must have NIPR professional certificate and diploma in public relations. Of course, if you have BSc or HND in marketing, master MBA perhaps for public relations, and of course PhD in public relations, you are qualified to be admitted as a member of the institute. So for those who are not here, one, it could be that they did not have any of these requirements or some other reasons. And for those of you who are here, I say congratulations to you in advance, just in case the president finally decides to admit you. And when we talk about grades of membership, when you are admitted, we have several grades. We have the fellow, member, associate, graduate, and honorary fellow. I'm actually going to start with the honorary fellow. Who and who do we give honorary fellow to? These are people that we're able to identify in the course of their operations that they have flair for public relations, or that they use public relations in their activities but do not have what it takes, the prerequisite to come and be members of the institute. These folks are identified and they are honored as such, and they are given honorary fellowship. Then the other group is the graduate level. All of us, before we can come into NIPR membership, we must have the prerequisite, like I said earlier, and those are the requirements I mentioned. You can come in as a graduate if you don't have the required number of years in experience. Then from there, you graduate to associate. And from graduate to associate, you are expected to spend a minimum of 2 years for you to upgrade. Then from associate to member, you are also expected to spend 2 years. Then from member to fellow, you must have spent 10 years as a full member before you can become a fellow. And we know what fellow means. When you are a fellow, it then means that you are an authority. People can consult with you, people can come to you and get educated in public relations. Apart from the membership thing that we handle, NIPR also has some other activities. We have our professional examinations, which we call professional examination 1 and professional examination 2. These two certificates are actually recognized by the Federal Ministry of Education, the regulatory body for any academic activity in this country. And when you have the professional examination 1 certificate, it is equivalent to ND, and that of 2 is equivalent to HND or first degree, even professional qualification. And you have the prospect of going for a PhD. And last year we had early this year we had a 4 set graduating from the University of Nigeria in Nsukka. So you can also rise to that level. We of course have other educational programs that we run as an institute. And some of these are what we call MCPD. That is one of them. That is Mandatory Continuing Professional Development Program. This is a kind of program that we run for those who are already practicing to be up to date and be attuned with what is happening in public relations business around the world. We also have a memorial lecture, which happens to be a public relations lecture And maybe some of us do not know who Dr. Sam Efele happened to be. This was the man that established NIPR in 1963. And that lecture has been packaged in honor of him. Of course, we have publications conferences at national and state levels, professional clinics, publication seminars, and workshops. If you look at the folder you are carrying, you will see the training program for the remaining part of this year, from July to December. And of course, we have an international program there as well. So we encourage all of you to start processing it now. And if you don't have a copy of that particular program, please keep one from the registration desk. And if you want extra copies as well, you can also give to you so that you can give to your colleagues in the office. Let us now talk about professional ethics. There's hardly any profession that does not have its rules and guidelines. Then what are we talking about here? Professional ethics are actually standards or codes of conduct that are set by people in a specific profession. What is obtainable in public relations is not what is obtainable in law or in medicine or anywhere else. Again, the code of ethics is a part of the expectations of those that are involved in that particular profession. The way you are going to relate with me in the same profession of public relations may be different from the way you relate with somebody who is in engineering or another profession. They are self-imposed rules and regulations set to manage the practice of the profession. Please ignore the name. It's a set of the rules are actually imposed. They are self-imposed. You make the rules yourself so that you'll be able to guide everybody that is practicing the profession. Then what are the importance and objectives of professional code of ethics? Doing public relations for public relations. Public relations for public relations. Don't mix it up with any other thing. If it is not public relations, it is not what? It is not public relations. It cannot be like public relations. Again, the code of ethics is designed to create a standard of practice within the profession, just as I mentioned earlier, and it's one of the objectives for which we have the standard. And of course, it is designed to protect the society and advance the cause of professionalism. There must be guidelines, there must be rules. Otherwise, everybody will just be doing his own thing, his own way. And when that happens, will there be a kind of a profession that all of us will dream of? Certainly not. And that is why those rules are put there. And fourthly, to preserve the integrity of the profession, we need to kind of preserve that integrity. But coming to Nigerian public relations, we have our own code of professional conduct, which came up in 1992 through a bylaw, one of the bylaws I mentioned earlier. And what that is, the NIPR code of professional conduct, distinct NIPR bylaw number 1 of 1992, is organized into 5 parts. 5 parts. But we're going to talk about 4 parts here. What is the first part? Conduct towards the practice of public relations. It is not a matter of is the survival of the fittest. It doesn't matter who the ethics might decide. Let us face reality. Let us pursue it. It is who gets what that really matters. That is not the way it is practiced. And that is one of the professional ethics in public relations. And of course, conduct towards the public, the media, and other professionals. You don't take yourself, you don't consider yourself to be superior than any other professions. No, you have your own role to play. Of course, Nigerian public relations, our public relations as a professional body cannot only manage all the activities of a particular country. Is it possible? If you don't have the medical profession there, you don't have the law profession, and it's only public relations that we have, can we all be here today? Certainly not. Then, we also look at conduct towards employers and clients. Our main objective should not be as soon as you get the money, as soon as you get the whatever, then you can now switch off and start doing your own thing. It's not going to be that way. And conduct towards colleagues, those who are also practicing this profession with us. What is our conduct with them? Sometimes we go to bid for a particular business, and somebody will tell you, your colleague has been here before. Now you try to be what? To outsmart that particular person just because you want to get that particular job. It is not allowed in our profession. So each person must do his own business according to the standards that have been set. The other thing I want to talk about is networking, which my president mentioned the other time. If you look at this diagram, you see the connections, the links. In public relations, you cannot afford to be alone. You cannot afford to be on your own. This is what is expected of you in public relations. You can see how people are meeting themselves, how they are conversing. Has any one of us done that this morning? Has anybody done that?
No, yes, sir.
Madam, how many people have you introduced yourself to?
We will do that
after induction.
yes.
3. And in the hall we have how many? About 50.
We'll do that
So how
after
many
the
people have you
lecture.
introduced yourself to?
In doctors first.
Maybe 2. Okay, can you just turn to one another and have a handshake? And say welcome on board. If there is nobody in your front, just shake.
Welcome on board, sir. Welcome. Not shake anybody.
So you can see the importance and the relevance of this. In public relations, you have to network, you have to reach out, you have to talk to people. Don't say I'm a reserved person.
Welcome.
It's not part of me to reach out. We don't allow it in public relations. The same way, we don't allow those who are shy in public relations. But if you are shy, you cannot watch. You cannot face the audience. And if you cannot face the audience, how will you manage your organization? Will it be possible? Certainly not. And when we talk about networking, these are some of the things that we stand to really give attention to. A simple view of your network. You can see yourself there. What color are you painted?
Orange.
What color are you painted?
Orange.
Orange, red. No problem.
Okay, let's take 2. What colors?
Orange.
Okay, we take orange and red. Fine. So let us take orange. The thing looks like a GT bank color. Is it not? Fine.
How you doing?
Then you can see the link between you and those that surround you. We have the current customers, potential customers, magazines, website, blogs, and all of them surrounding you. But if you refuse to reach out to these people, or you refuse to let these people get to you, can you survive? If you look at the arrows there, you can see the arrows have 2 pointed points. As it's going to the current customer, it's also coming to you. And that is what networking is all about. Well, the time I was given is over, but then let's look at what you stand to do for the institute, your responsibilities, when eventually the president says, welcome. Payment of dues is not negotiable. It is not what?
Negotiable.
It is not negotiable. You must just pay it. Association at both national and state chapter events. It's not that no, it's only when national is doing its event, that is when I will go. But when the state is doing its own, that is the only time I will go. No, you must attend the 2. Then uphold the code of ethics, then support for the institute. This is also very, very important. There are some people in our religious organizations that we consider very important in terms of the profession in practice. Why can't your own be as important as that particular one? So you can make a difference. So as you go from here today, empowered with a certificate from the president, then you are not the same again. You are supposed to go out there and make a difference. Let people know you that the PR person has been certified and is now in our midst. It's no longer business as usual where you will sit down and they will come and consult you as to what they need to know. You also reach out to them, find out what they are doing so that you'll be able to go and move ahead of them. And that is exactly what we're expected to do the moment we leave this particular place. And of course, this last one, that has to do with what? Go out there and make a difference. That was Dr. Stephen Adebayo, Registrar, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. Another round of applause for him.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, I'd like to juncture, before the break in transmission, it's a great pleasure to also recognize, she's in our midst here, the Provost of the Nigerian Institute of Journalism. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Lizzie Kim.
Wow.
Another break in transmission. She's representing Dr. Lizzie Kim. She's Mrs. Odo. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Odo. So, it's question time. And we want you to introduce yourself, mention your chapter. If you are an inductee and you are asking a question, mention your chapter. Asada, Delta, NIPR Delta chapter. If you are a journalist, mention the media you work for. If you are just one of our jolly good fellows that has come to jolly with us, mention where you are coming from, where you are jollying from. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we'll take questions from the Professionalism Ethics Networking paper on orientation. So, where's my co-MC? Friday, Aman. Mr. Aman, please come and take the microphone from. Okay, sir, you assist us. Just raise your hand, identify you, and ask your question. Be brief, please. Don't ask questions within questions. You know the university, we say A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3. Don't do questions like that. Don't do one and let us go straight ahead. Yes, questions for the first paper. Identify yourself, please, sir.
My name is Akin Anderson Richards. I'm the Commissioner of Information Resources, so automatically I'm from that chapter, although I'm to be as it were. Mine will probably be sad. I just want to know why, with all this capacity, why institute of members are not being an integral part of governance, especially in the areas of conflict resolution. Thank you.
That's a good one.
All the questions will be asked, and Steve and anybody here will take the answers. So we have the first one, the second one. Okay. Just hold on. The president would like to take the first one. I hope you all understood what he asked.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Please help me to appreciate the person who has that question. I will tell you 2 reasons for it. Please give us the honor of having the standing ovation. You don't know the reason why I was there. That is not an ovation. When you are here for fear of business and you are blessed, when you are not here for fear of business, like the minister said, I will take my leave to the next available exit. Thank you. This is our honorable commissioner for information, sitting commissioner in a state. When he was given honorary fellow, he opted out of it and said he wants to be a professional. And not only that, he was aware he cannot jump the gun by becoming a full member, and he agreed to say, I'm starting from associate member. When you see men of honor, you see them not in quantity, but you see them in sanctity. And the fewer they are, the better the environment, because they make a forceful change overnight. Please sit down, sir. When I was treating his form, he was represented by his chairman of chapter, and she was defending that this is what this man wanted. And I had over 100 lobbying for what they didn't qualify for, or trying to manage and putting up paper for what they don't qualify for. Yes, money is very much needed by every organization and everybody. NIPR cannot be monetizing integrity. If you look at yourself, how many you are, we have over 200 applications for this induction. But those of you are here on merit, not by any management. That's why you should be happy. You should be happy that you are part of the new foundation that talks about integrity first before your money, before your application fee. So I once again congratulate you. Now going to your question, sir. We do not need to celebrate our presence as part of co-team of any organization, be it private sector or public sector. As of today, Nigerian information and reputation management is in the hand of 3 major professionals who happen to be members and fellows of this professional body. Mike Emery, the Director General of National Reputation Agency and Coordinator of National Information Center, is a fellow of the Institute of Public Relations, and is on that platform based on his career and his status as a member. Next to that, he is also the fellow of this institute and chairman of member of compliance and enforcement as well as advocacy committee in person of Major General Chris Oladele, a fellow of this and director of defense information. The next one is a full member of this institute, the deputy director in charge of information for State Department of Security, Marilyn Organ. That shows you where we are. But beyond that level, there is no Ministry of Parastatal that will not have its own crew of public relations who are professional members. And we do trainings from time to time. You have been given the training program from July to December for the rest of the year, and you look through it, you will see the coverage. Not only that, we have sectoral coverages. 2 months ago, we were at aviation sector, where we celebrated one of our members who has just been elevated as General Manager of Corporate Affairs. For SACO, we have the NAMA, General Manager Corporate Affairs, a full member. So, and in private sector, of course, the problem we only have is that there are so many of them who are already doing this job, who have not gotten the time opportunity to actually professionalize by being members there. And that is why we are giving what we call windows of opportunity, which will close by December 31st, 2015. By January 1, 2015, NIPR will go with the representative of the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and the states to take to court any organization employing or having its service on certified and unlicensed public relations practitioners. The adverts will come out by the 1st of October in the dailies, in the national dailies. You all see it. So it's either you follow the law, which is a parliamentary provision, Act 16 of 1990, or you go to face the court. Individually, they will be charged, practitioners, and corporately, they will be charged as well. But before we do that, the committee in charge is going around, and also we have opened a window of opportunity program. November induction, which comes up in November, we have a 1 week or 2 weeks intensive program for those categories who have been seen to be qualified. On our list as of today, we have 49 candidates for that program. So it is a gradual thing. There is no profession in the world that doesn't have quackery. The level differs. In Nigeria, if you have fake doctors, don't you have? Fake soldiers, don't you have? So many. So it's not only here, but the level of development and concern and effort different. If you can have one person like you around today's 101 candidates being inducted today. Definitely, the hope has not been lost. I will thank you for your courage, your intellect and technique, and humility which you have disposed that. God bless you.
Question number 2. Yes, please. Oh, sorry. Give to the gentleman there. Please, we are gender friendly. We would like to see ladies also raise their hands.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Emeka Titus here. I come from Enugu State. I am the PRO of Enugu State Radio Agriculture, now Enugu State Polytechnic. I want to ask a question. When the first lecturer was doing the lecture, he was saying that he mentioned marketing as the major program where the public relations comes from. I want to know whether public relations is a marketing course or mass communication course. In the University of Nigeria campus, they do their public relations MSc program in the Department of Marketing rather than that of mass communication. And I want to know whether those of us who come from the mass communication background, whether we will have any opportunity, maybe if you want to lecture in the university as a lecturer, PR lecturers, whether we have any limitations just because we are now doing our MSc or PhD program in marketing at the University of Nigeria instead of in mass communication. That's my question, sir.
Next, please.
My name is Roger Martinez. I'm a Lagos here. My question is a little bit closer to the last speaker, but a little bit different. I want to know what the Institute is doing about capturing Generation X. Because most of the times I have experienced the NIPR reduction, though as an observer I spent 1 or 2 times. Most of the people that have been inducted or are coming are usually seen as the older ones who probably feel that they have been made it has become compulsory for them to become members, so they come in and they start members. But if you compare that with other institutions, you discover that some institutes are actually partnering with universities, private and public, to see students actually build up in that line. We need to actually know how to capture how Generation X is being captured. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir. The gentleman here. No? First, yes.
My name is Rotimi Oladele. I'm from the United States because in the program I'm from Osun. I applied when I was in Osun. Now I'm in Oyo by employment. I love the National Education University. I'm the state director of former Osun and now Oyo. I just want to know that is it only through this induction that can only come in through admin and associate? Because I looked at myself for donkey years. I've represented government doing public relations all my life, being the state director of Oyo since 2004, gone to Abuja to be a national director, back to Osun as a state director, and now as a state director. I see myself saying an associate. So when I asked a question from the chairman of Oyo, I was asking, what level? She said she doesn't know. Until I get it. And on getting there, I saw that it's a associate. So I want to know that if you are coming in, is it only through being an associate at this level? Thank you.
Next question.
My name is Salam Bello.
Just a minute. Please, all those who want to ask questions, raise your hands so we can give you the guys and then we know where to stop. Okay, you will be after him, and that's it. Thank you. Go ahead.
My name is Salam Bello. I have a question. I know that this meeting is very, very important in any organization. Apart from withdrawing membership from members who misbehave, what are the other measures put in place by the NIPR to punish its members who misbehave for various offenses? Please.
What does NIPR do to throw in erring members who violate professional ethics or whatever? The last, please.
Well, my name is Sheikh Agostinus from Ingu. I want to know what the institute is doing presently concerning the issue of insurgency in Nigeria. Thank you. In order to rebuild the battered image.
Okay. What are we doing with respect to solving the insurgency problem in Nigeria? That's a nice one. Look, a lady was asked a question before you start accusing us of not being gender friendly. A lady was asked a question. But if you don't want to ask, you can volunteer to answer one of the questions. All right, President.
As a member of National Conference, I don't want to be accused of not following the 35% abolition concept which I fought for. So women are the one who denied themselves, not me. Anyway, let me go straight to the question. I'm happy about the quality of engagement you are giving the institute. I will start from the last. Insurgency. If you are very constant with both print and electronic media, you must have seen the fact I've just mentioned the 3 members of this institute managing the National Commission Center. You will have seen the program of NIPR in various prints and electronic media on bring back our girls safely. We were the people who had it safely. People are saying bring back our girls, but we don't want the girls back anyhow, either dead or we want them safe, we want them back alive. That's one. Second thing is that we have submitted a series of proposals for training for all the paramilitary and military organizations. Just 3 days ago, I was discussing with the customs on when we will have likely to have their own. Also, the media presentations made by the National Information Center, Minister of Information, the Special Assistant to the President, and all others. There are a lot of complaints from the public about the issue about how this information is being dished out. And those of you in Lagos will remember that I was on 3 different television stations, spending minimum of 15 minutes in each case, analyzing the information management of all those speakers and spokespersons, as well as giving some professional rules and also the reasons how and why we were doing what we were doing, and the kind of reactions we were having. One of them was a phone-in program. A phone-in program that took 30 minutes, and about 9 people were able to talk to me directly. That's one. Another one is several mobilization of blood donation, for example, on the first occurrence. And remember, it was the effort of the British High Commissioner that pushed NIPR into action, because before anybody donated blood for insurgency victims, it was the British High Commissioner that did so, not any Nigerian. And that shows us that public relations is being seen as somebody's profession, whereas it's the way of life of every human being living. Because we say that it's a lifestyle, it's a career path, it's relationship management, it's reputation management. If you don't care about what happens to your neighbor, you are not there. So we did a lot of advocacy and education and training. Not only that, it's ongoing. As well, in the last 5 months, before it became so pronounced, we have started working on anti-human trafficking. We've been working in and in conjunction with different organizations, international and local. But now, our syllabus of examination for those who will be writing next year will have a very good dose of crisis management that will include terrorism information management and impact assessment for rehabilitation of victims of insurgencies. So these are part of what we have done. It may not be enough, but we have been trying our little best. Because insurgency is a challenge all our country. We can only work together with people. You can see that the information center that is put at the center now, PR being in charge, is different from when we started, where everybody would just say and say something. Somebody will say, yes, they went through this door. Somebody say, oh, I saw them through the backyard and they were only two. Somebody say, oh, from the front office, so there was nobody at all, they only threw it in. All those of divergent issues are no longer there. Because you need to verify, you need to package, and you must also address the audience before you send your message. Addressing the audience is like the parents of the victims of the insurgency. What is their feeling? What is their expectation? Their expectation is not how much money you want to pay them. They didn't want their children to die for compensation. Was that what they wanted? No. So you must address the priority of the victim. That is the professional approach to it. And if you look at other people who are not PR persons, when they want to talk about disaster, the first thing they will start with is compensation. It is not compensation, but nobody wanted it at all. The first thing is to see how do we prevent the occurrence. The second was how do we make comfortable those who are already victims. Then number three, we can be talking about compensation, rehabilitation, and so on. So there are approaches to crisis management, and that is part of what we are doing. The next question is, yes, somebody has asked about disciplinary process in NIPR. Just like any other professional body like ICANN, Korean, and so on, we have our tribunal, which is an internal organ, disciplinary organ of the institute. There is a disciplinary committee which doubles as the internal tribunal for the institute. If anybody is reported or there's an allegation from within or outside, it will be challenged to that committee. They will sit down, interrogate those people that are alleged, and everything will be done with the input of legal practitioners who are members and those who are not members. We have jurors that will decide the case, because this case is subject to review of the higher court. Since we are a chartered body, that's one of the advantages of the chartered body, like the legislator mentioned to you. We have our own disciplinary organ that is recognized by law and can be channeled to the judiciary, which is structured when decisions are made. I remember that I was once a member of that committee about 5 years ago, when the traditional ruler in Fellow was the chairman, we tried a member who was even a deputy librarian of the university on an allegation, and it was handled properly, and so we have our own channel of this. We cannot just do anything to get it or to the law. If you do it, unless it's not known, you will try. And you can go to court to challenge it. Yes, and the court will look at it. And it will be as per normal judicial process. So it is not just that you are optimized away from judicial. No. It's a structured process which is allowed and expected by law as a chartered body. I hope that satisfies this one's question. The next one is practicing for long. Yes, not being here, then remember of maybe 30 years. How will I come and now start from associate? I will even say that if we were to follow the process, that person should have started from graduate member. The reason is simple. You can drive your car for 30 years and ignore driving license, but you know yourself that you are not a professional driver. If the road safety catches you on the road, and you can't tell them that you are still because you have driven for 30 years, and that is why you don't need a license. We are talking about licensing, we are talking about authority, we are talking about expertise. Yes, you have experiential exposure, but the expertise is grossly lacking. And you will not know, but people who are benefiting from you outside, who are professional, will know. Let me cite an example for you. There was a director general in a parastatal who was director general in an information parastatal for that matter. When they came in for a program, international program, I was in UK, you will discover that the totality of that program, how beautiful it was and well attended to, lacked PR policy, missing totally. Protocols was zero, because the protocol they knew, but the protocol is civil service. Yes, Mr. Governor, the commissioners, that is not what we are talking about. If you look at the courses for this year, we are starting from the smallest thing. We are talking about event planning and management. Somebody came in to ask me, why this? And I said, well, event is a big issue. Event is a big issue. If you look at a country like Germany, 13% of GDP of Germany comes from event. Every big city of Germany has an exhibition center that is not less than 20 hectares of land. And there is no month in Germany that you don't have an event going on. There are 45 events in 2014 in Germany alone for various countries. And each one has an event director. I don't know how many of you read Economist magazine. Last year, February, Economist magazine advertised director of events for Economic magazine and asked him how much for the salary. £400,000 per annum. It's a PR job. So what we are talking here is about expertise. What we are talking about here is regulation. What you have been doing over the years was never under any regulation. In fact, if you had any problem